Welcome to a short reflection by Sebastian Mahfood on Canto 20 of Dante's Purgatorio. Dante leaves Pope Adrian V still thirsty for more conversation from him, but soon finds someone else with whom to speak in the person of Hugh Capet, the founder of the Capetian dynasty of kings in France. Before stumbling on Hugh Capet, though, he curses the she-wolf of incontinence who made this ledge so crowded that the only safe passage is against the mountain wall, a curse that should remove the confusion Ciardi expressed in his footnotes to the first canto of the Inferno, that good arguments for the she-wolves being representative of fraud exist. That Dante's in the equivalent of Hell's fourth circle, and is moving backward along Hell's trajectory from the characteristics leading to fraud to those leading to lust, indicates the progress that he's made in eradicating from his soul the sins of the leopard and of the lion. He has only these sins of the she-wolf yet to purge, and it is on this that he is reflecting when he hears the cry, "Blessed Mary, how poor you were, is testified to all men by the stable in which you laid your sacred burden down." The first whip complete, the second comes immediately after, a pagan example about the consul Fabricius, who chose poverty over dishonorable wealth, and died so poor, Ciardi notes, that the state had to bury him. The third concerns St. Nicholas's providing a dowry for 3 young girls who would otherwise have gone into the brothel. Here, Dante finds the source of the whip in the person of Hugh Capet, who responds to Dante's query about his seeming to be the whip-bearer by stating that everyone is speaking these whips, but that he was simply the loudest at the time Dante was within earshot. If we contrast this group effort with the ledge below, where the majority of the penitents merely receive the whip from some, and the rein from others, we find another layer of community cohesion in progress, something that's been building since the first ledge. Hugh Capet continues in his explanations, demonstrating that he's more comfortable than Pope Adrian about breaking momentarily his penance, as he explains, for Dante's good rather than for his own. After all, as Ciardi notes, he's been in purgatory for 344 years, and is fairly advanced in his progress to God. The problem, he explains, with the line of kings that he founded, is that they became too rich too quickly, and fell into avaricious fervor that was the birth of its rapacity, its power, its lies. Here he accuses Charles of Anjou of poisoning St. Thomas Aquinas, and it gets worse. He shows that one of his line will sell a daughter for a high price, and that it will force the papacy into slavery and submission Avignon, which it did in 1309, following hard in the destruction of the Knights Templar, erstwhile guardians of the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. By far the greatest crime, though, is Philip the Fair's arrest of Boniface VIII in 1303, subjecting him to such great indignities, Ciardi notes, that Boniface's mind cracked, followed by his death of hysterical seizures on October 12, 1303. That Dante considers this act to be an indignity, by the way, provides an important insight into his ability to separate the person and the office he holds from the acts of that person while in office. Capet then explains the relationship between the whip and the rein of avarice. During the light of day, the penitents cry the whip, but when the sun sets and through the night, they cry the rein. He then relates the 7 reins, all of the hoarding rather than of the prodigal type, of Pygmalion's self-destruction in pursuit of gold, of Midas's despair at having his wish gratified, of Achan's theft from Joshua, of Sapphira and her husband's blame in stealing from the early church, of Heliodorus's and Polymnester's crimes, and of Crassus's reputation as a money-grabber, causing the Parthian king to defile his disembodied head by pouring molten gold into its mouth. Now satisfied, the poets move on, wiser in the knowledge that their encounter with Pope Adrian hadn't preceded the whip, but interrupted his articulation of it. Suddenly the entire mountain shakes as if it tottered, Ciardi translates. Dante's seized with dread at what this might mean, but Virgil reassures him. All the souls cry out, "Glory to God in the highest." Gradually the ground grows still again, and Dante finishes the canto pondering this phenomenon in his heart. So that's what salvation is like, an earthquake of the soul that suddenly snaps us into realignment with God. We'll be told in the next canto that the earthquake is the signal to everyone on the mountain that another soul has finished its purgation and is ready to ascend to heaven. Naturally, no one envies that soul anything, for all know that one day it will be their turn to ascend. So the only expression left to them is one of joy. Who that soul is we'll come to find out. Importantly, though, it could be any of us who at any point in our lives experience a moment like an earthquake of the soul.